Hello and welcome back to another video here with me, Meoni, looking at more Shadowbringers footage, courtesy of course from Work to Game, who shared this video footage with me during their trip out to the media event in San Francisco, so much thanks to them again for that generosity. I must say that all contents of this video are entirely based on a development build and are not directly representative of the finished product that you will play on June the 28th during the early access. So it's close now and I can practically taste it, and I really wanted to bring more hype to the expansion. In this video I want to directly talk to you about how fates have been really changed for the better in Shadowbringers' new zones. Specifically, when you look back at fates, you may frequently be reminded about how early on in the game's base development, emphasis was mainly drawn to the potential use for leveling alt jobs, and eventually the use of them was tied to relic quests and the like, with fates themselves being used directly for the progression of that particular goal. In Stormblood, we actually saw the addition of fates with extra experience rewards attached to them in certain spawns, and the occasional rare fate would actually only spawn under certain conditions due to a fate chain, like with the Kinko Fox fate in Yangsha, which ultimately rewarded you the Tamamo headband glamour, or the housing items like the banner that you can get from the Azim Step fate chain, which not many people do these days. But in general, the usability and revisitation of fates as the expansions go by are quite few and far between with the general consumer. So in an attempt to further incentivize the use of fates as a new functional activity, Square Enix decided to add new rewards upon fate completion in the new Shadowbringers zones exclusively. So what you're seeing here in the background is footage of some of the new fate encounters that you can expect in those new zones. Specifically, this is here in Lakeland, be it the usual small-scale monster fates or indeed the large boss fates, all of which now reward a new item upon completion, named the Bi-Color Gemstones. You will see that presumably you gain a different amount of this new currency depending on your overall involvement in the fate. Gold rating for a lot of these seem to reward 12 of these gemstones in particular, but again, this is a early development build, so we can't take this as a final number. It was probably increased for the playtesting purposes of that weekend. The gemstones in particular, as you might ask, are directly exchanged at a new vendor located in the new zone's hubs, such as this one in apparently Fort Job, named the Fate Trader. So the sort of things that you can expect to exchange this currency for include, but are not limited to, riding maps for the current location you are in, such as the Lakeland riding map here, which will increase your riding speed in this zone, barding, such as this deep shadow barding apparently, the Lakeland daytime music orchestrion roll, which those three are your bigger ticket items. I mean, it's 350 for the barding alone, for example, and then there are the lower cost crafting materials, including both high quality and normal quality versions, which have a much lower gem cost. This then overall is a great way of bringing people to do the content. When I talked to Work to Game recently about these fates and the changes, they explained to me that they had been told that the team has plans to add even more rewards to these fate vendors over time, so this could be a great way of bringing those zones to life and seeing fates done a lot more than they currently are in the game, as of course it's no doubt in my mind that further cosmetic items could be easily added to these vendors. Mounts and minions certainly come to mind, and perhaps even some glamour items. Now, this isn't a retroactive change as far as I can tell, and this will only happen in the Shadowbringers areas exclusively, of which there is supposed to be 6 in this expansion, so the variety of items could be quite interesting indeed. I've never been a fan of fates directly, as they always seem to be a little unrewarding for me personally and my time investment, but seeing these additions actually will be enough to keep me interested in doing them to stockpile this new gemstone currency, especially if they plan to expand on this each patch or so with new rewards. Either way, thank you once again to Work to Game for sharing this footage with me. I thought this would be a cool video to talk about today and gives a great insight into how they're not just adding new features to the game, but adding to older ones to make them feel more engaging and ultimately the big thing, more rewarding. Thank you all kindly for watching, and I'll see you all next time.